from Southern Maryland's weather leader. This is a JB Weather Report.
Wednesday evening, and I'm forecaster John Bordash with you in the JB Weather Center, continuing to look over all the latest data that continues to point to a growing likelihood of a significant winter storm to impact the Mid-Atlantic as we move into this weekend. Earlier today, we moved the JB Risk Index up to a level 4, as there's a certainty now that there will be some sort of a winter storm this weekend. How much falls and what exactly falls is still up for debate, but now is the time to prepare and start considering what your preparations and an action plan might look like if this winter storm does indeed move in. This evening, we do see widespread winter storm watches across much of the South, over 1,500 miles worth of winter storm watches. And this really does show just how far-reaching this winter storm is going to be bringing impacts all the way from the New Mexico and Texas area, through the Dallas Metroplex, through Arkansas, into the Nashville metro area, and these watches extend into southwestern Virginia. As we head into tomorrow, I would expect these watches to move to the north and east, and most of our region, almost the entire region, honestly, should be under a winter storm watch, as high impacts do look likely across the region. Let's take a look at some of the latest model data that has poured into the Weather Center this evening, and we're continuing to look at a couple different solutions here, and I really want to narrow it down to two, and both of our leading models kind of support different ideas, which helps to illustrate this. Our American model really does continue to promote this idea of a southern track and offshore track. With that said, over the last 24 hours, we have seen a general shift to the north. The American model, though, does remain on the southern envelope of that northern shift, but it does show what many models were showing yesterday, with that band of snow potentially heavy at times getting right into the mid-Atlantic, with icing well down to the south, and this would help to promote that idea of seeing up to a foot plus worth of snow for many areas on Sunday, with widespread snow, all snow for the mid-Atlantic. The European model, though, and this is what I've been watching, one that many people like to follow, not only has it taken a northern shift, but it's starting to change the dynamics a little bit. This model is suggesting maybe we have that initial area of low pressure that gets jammed up against the mountains and can't go north because of high pressure. So it's going to force its energy. That low pressure will die, force its energy, and it'll reform along the coast and then head up the coast. If this were to occur, not only is this a northern solution, but it really does start to introduce the idea of bringing in some warmer air aloft, which would help to transition areas south and east to D.C. through Virginia into the Carolinas over to a widespread icy mix. And it would focus that heaviest snow northwest of I-95. What would this look like in action? Well, if I had to pick an option right now, I think I'm going to be leaning a little bit more towards the European with my thought process, but there's both potentials are there on the table that we're still going to have to parse out. But if you had to ask me, JB, what are you thinking right now? This is what I would show you. Area low pressure that's going to move out to sea. I do think that there are going to be significant snow impacts focused northwest of I-95. Think areas like southern and central Pennsylvania, getting through northern Maryland, really I-95 northwest. I think that's where you're all snow, and I think that's where you're looking at that significant impact. I think that area there in purple, and that's where we have a lot of followers, that kind of snakes through the Richmond, Virginia area, getting into southern Maryland, the Delmarva, South Jersey. I think this is an area that will start as all snow. However, I do think that's an area that does mix with and transition to sleet and freezing rain at some point that could help to accumulate ice. Regardless, you will still see snow at the onset, and this is going to promote the idea of widespread significant impacts regardless of where you are. It just is going to be a difference of what actually falls. But this forecast will continue to evolve, and nothing is really set in stone, and I'm sure that this will change tomorrow as we get more information. I've kept this map at a regional view because we don't have enough details yet to take a zoomed in version. Think of like an old school photograph, right? But prints out, it's not developed yet. It's still blurry. This is still a blurry image. We will develop that picture and we will see kind of what really is going to be going on as we get closer to the event. Tomorrow, this map will have some numbers on it with my exact thinking. But let's show you what those two options, that coastal and offshore track, what that would mean for snow totals. With a coastal solution, again, kind of what I'm favoring right now, those areas kind of within that pink outline would be seeing significant icing potentially. Probably some snow at the onset, especially along the northern edge of that. So southern Maryland, not a pure ice event, but this would suggest that you would start as snow and then go to ice. Within that purple outline, that would be a significant double-digit plus snow, potentially upwards of a foot plus. And then the further north you head, the lower the snow totals are. I'm not going to show you an exact snowfall model output because you're going to hold on to that and think that's what the forecast is. But this is general, and it gives you a general idea, kind of double-digit plus, half foot plus, or a few inches. Heaviest potential with the coastal solution would show north and west at about 95. If this storm could stay maybe a little bit further to the south, that would put those significant snows in the southern portions of the mid-Atlantic through southern Maryland, central Virginia, for a double-digit plus event. Moderate snows would be hanging on from Washington on up towards like New York and Harrisburg on over towards Boston, half foot plus with lesser amounts as you head to the north, and then that icing event well down to the south. So we will go back and forth, look at this information, and make a snowfall forecast tomorrow that we should likely be out as we head towards about 4 or 5 o'clock on Thursday. But the overall headlines with this event. Timing. This has started to become ironed out a little bit more. Still some wrinkles though. Precip is going to be moving in late Saturday. I'm thinking after sunrise, probably closer to midnight. Lingers throughout the day Sunday and heads out of here on Monday. I know some of you are trying to plan already. I would not expect any flights or any weddings to be attended or any dogs to get groomed on Sunday. I think anytime between, let's say, 8 p.m. Saturday and 8 a.m. Monday is fair game for high impacts. Impacts will be area-wide, significant impacts at that from both snow and potentially from ice. Everybody should see snow though Sunday morning before, if there is any transition to freezing rain and sleet, that would happen Sunday afternoon. But Sunday morning, widespread heavy snow in the very least that, precip will linger throughout the day as well. The unknowns, how far north does this storm track, and where does that mix line go? Does it get to I-95, or does it stay south of Richmond? There's a lot to kind of parse through here with this forecast. Clearly, it is not an easy forecast. It is rather complex, but we will continue to track all of it. So I encourage you to stay here to JB Weather for the latest information on everything Mid-Atlantic oriented for this winter storm. You can get my updates on Facebook, on Twitter or X, Instagram, YouTube, and of course, jbweather.net for all of the latest information. In the meantime, I'm forecaster John Bordash. Please stay tuned to the forecast, and we will continue to keep you one step ahead of this winter storm.
Check the forecast anytime online at jbweather.net.